The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy.
Hey guys, we are on a break right now. We are, traveling or in Reno. We will be back around the 9th of September. However, we still recorded a podcast for you. Make sure to like us and give us a 5-star rating on Apple. Enjoy. On this episode of Pennies Going In Raw, we have Gary Trades and Tommy Coops of the Goblin Gang.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4%.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
Pennies.
Going in raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity of Dips,
And Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going In Raw. Today we have on Gary Trades and Tommy Coops of the Goblin Gang. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for having us, boys.
Great. Just down to some egg white bites and drinking some coffee.
Yeah. There's some oat milk in there?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good.
It looks like it's from Starbucks.
You're still long on Oatly.
Yeah, I got Oatly in the long-term account.
Okay.
We did take it to. I don't have a Roth. We did take it to $30. There's no need for a Roth.
Yeah.
I'm rich. I don't need to have my money locked up.
Yeah, I respect that. Well, I guess kind of going on, we've had both of you guys on before, and Hugh just turned off his camera, I guess, because he's mad that you don't have a Roth. But it's funny because he probably won't figure out how to turn it back on before this interview is continued.
Check the gains, bro.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I have a Roth. Check the
So I
gains.
guess we've had both of you guys on a couple times, but we've never had you guys on during such a slow market. We see kind of both of you guys have lowered your daily goal, but are still hitting these massive gains. What kind of strategies are each of you guys kind of using in this kind of slower market?
For what I'm doing, I'm doing the same thing that I've always done, sticking to what works. I'm just doing it less frequently during August. So I'm doing what I always do. I just, once I make a little bit of money of the morning, then I just bail. I don't sit here all day and give myself a chance to give my money back. That's the only adjustment that I've made in the slow period.
Yeah, same. I did start trading large caps a little bit more now that my account has grown. I always traded them before, but I couldn't make a lot of money because I didn't have a big account, and I don't like trading options that much. So I'd be slapping them with a small account. You can't really make bank, but when you can slap, Tesla or Apple with $1 million to $2 million, you can make pretty good returns on scalping them. So yeah, I started doing that too, and that's been pretty fun.
Yeah.
But also I'm out of here by 8 a.m. PST. I won't sit around.
Yeah. So you're only both of you guys are only you're getting your gains, making sure they don't go anywhere, and just, taking what you can get and then stepping away for the day.
Yeah, because in a better market, we'll trade all day. So we can get to $100 grand because there's 10, 20 opportunities to trade. But right now we're just 2 trades, they do well, we'll bounce.
Yeah.
At least me. Yeah.
It's funny. My dad just texted me, and Hugh just texted me. My dad said, "Call me when you get a second." And Hugh said, "Can you see me now?" And I accidentally texted my dad, "No." Call me when you're free. No.
Wait, seriously, can you see? I can see you guys.
We cannot see you, but we can hear you.
I can see him. Yeah, I can see him.
Oh, well, that's not good for me because I'm the one recording it. Oh, now I can see. Now I can see it. Okay.
Are you recording the video too?
Yeah, I'm recording the video.
Sick.
Dude, your hair looks good, bro.
Dude, thanks. I'm
All
making it pink for Reno, baby.
Okay, well, are you guys cash all at the end of the day? Is that always how you guys have been, even when it's not slow?
Yeah, 90%. Like, there's some like longer term swings I'll do, like example Wish or something like that. But like as far, I'm a day trader, so 95% of the stuff I do, I'm all cash by the end of the day. So especially during August, like I sit here maybe an hour, I make my money, then I just get out, enjoy my days. And it's good too for like a reset, to not sit behind the screen all day long, go out and enjoy life a little bit to remind yourself, hey, we have a pretty cool job and this is why we do it.
So you guys are kind of always finding these same setups that just seem to, get these pops and sometimes even continued runners, which is super impressive during, a slow month, even though it hasn't been as slow and detrimental as we all thought it would be. Kind of, there was that first half where it just seemed so good, like large caps. And now it seems like some pennies are coming alive. And then, you had another week where there were pennies. So it's just been kind of adapting to it. What kind of setups are you guys looking for in this market?
Go ahead, Tom.
For me, like I'm looking for in large caps. I honestly have just found like 3 or 4 that I've just learned the personalities of them. Like Apple pops every single morning. Moderna, whatever direction it picks in the morning, it just continues like that day. So you can kind of like get a feel for it and short it or long it. Tesla usually pops in the morning. So for the large caps, I've just been playing like the first 10 minutes of the day. And for those, I legit don't even look for news or anything. If they have news, it's a bonus. But their personalities, they do the same thing every single day once they pick a direction. So you don't need news or a catalyst. Like they just kind of do what they do. And then for small caps, yeah, we've just been doing, what we've always done, looking for the best news, the top, 3 or 4 gainers, seeing which ones of the best news set up, and then waiting for a dip at the open, loading the dip, and playing it. It's funny because he's been talking about like the morning flush, and it's like, Zach's been talking about the morning flush. You can bleep that. That's a thing that we've been preaching forever. It's buying the dip. It's just now people are like, for some reason it's catching on more because he put a name to it. But you find the best news. You narrow that down to 2 or 3, and then you find the best setup out of the best news. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you guys having to find yourself cutting losses at all during this? I mean, I know that you, Tommy, have been trading Moderna. Like you've made it kind of your stock, and AMD was, a lot of people were solely trading that, at the beginning of August. When you're trading these that a lot and you have conviction, it always bounces here. How do you cut losses and say like, maybe this didn't work out the way I thought?
Well, I'm slapping like Moderna with so much that I have to keep the losses really, really, really small. But with large caps, you can set a stop loss, or you can market sell on a large cap, and it's not going to tank the stock. Like I'm not going to tank a $400 stock by selling $1 million of it. So you can keep your losses really, really small on large caps. With a small float, we can't do that. We can't set stop losses. We can't cut super fast because we'll literally screw everybody in the stock and ourselves if we do that. So with large caps, yeah, I'm keeping the stop losses really, really short. But with low floats, if I think the setup is good and I think the news is good, I'll just add the dip. Like I don't need to wait for it to reset up. I'll just keep adding.
Gotcha. Yeah, with those large caps, is it one of those things where, you give it a few minutes, and if most of the time Moderna pops right at open, if by like, let's call it 3 or 4 minutes into open, if it's kind of still sitting and it hasn't popped yet, are you just going to get rid of it, or are you just going to wait it out and then see?
Yeah,
what it does?
I don't trade pre-market. Gary texts me every single morning and says, don't fucking buy anything in pre-market. So
it's super
I don't
early
trade
for you
that.
too.
Yeah. I wake up at like 3. But yeah, I wait for it. I wait for a Moderna or a Tesla or an Apple to pick a direction, because their personalities, if you go look at all 3 of those charts, once it picks a direction, it goes with that direction. Like if Moderna decides it's going down today, it's just going to go down. You could short it. And then if it decides it wants to go up, like its personality is, it's just going to kind of follow through. It might be a slow grinder. You might not get crazy gains on it, but usually the direction they choose at open is the direction they'll go for the day.
Yeah, you just mentioned shorting, and both of you guys are always calling out these long setups. And Tommy, I know you short a little bit, but are you guys finding yourselves shorting more during slow markets, or do you kind of find the same in bullish markets where things get overextended super fast? You may be able to catch a really good short.
Yeah, for me, I'm still really not shorting anything. It's just I have a style and personality that works for me. So I don't really screw with that too much, even when it's slow. I just, keep doing what I know is proven to make me money, like over the years. I just cut it back, the frequency that I'm doing it. But I just don't think, like you should just try to like be a jack of all trades, just like once you find that thing that works for you, just stick with that. And if we have a slow period, just chill for 4 to 6 weeks. Like, you have something that works. You don't have to, jump ship and try to find the next thing and learn all of that, and, take the losses.
Well, I mean, your strategy is also, it's not like one of those things where you can only apply it to, let's call it small caps. It works out well that you guys can apply your strategy to, mid, large, and anything that you really want to, So, I think that that's a really cool aspect because that's one of the things that, everybody always worries about, like, hey, what happens when the market cycles out, or what happens when this stops working,
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're a price action trader, like we are, I think, me, Dan, and Gary, Hugh, you're obviously more catalyst based, but when you're like a price action trader, like the stock doesn't matter so much. Like if the news is good and you just develop that sixth sense where you can see like what direction a candle is going to push, and if it has strength in the candle with the tape and with level 2, it doesn't matter what the ticker is, it doesn't matter what the price of the stock is. We obviously like cheaper stocks because you can load more shares and make more money, and they have more significant moves. But when you're a price action trader, it's like you can adapt that to anything. You could play crypto, you could play large caps, you could play anything because you're just basing it off of the price action.
Yeah. There's something that Dan said in literally one of the first podcasts that always sticks inside my mind. He said, if I know what the fuck the company does, I already know I'm screwed. Like, or something.
Been in it too long. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. And at the time I was like, huh? Because you guys know I learned I'm on like their Facebook pages.
You know too much. You get hired at the company before you buy a stock, dude. Mitch has to do a 6-month internship at any company he buys.
Bro, I know, dude. If the CEO had a speeding ticket when he was 17, bro, I know about it.
Oh my gosh.
But I think that's no. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I know you kind of mentioned, like, you were talking about your strategy, and you also have, like, a bunch of other, like, smaller strategies you like to add on. I know, like, sometimes in after hours, some stock will have bad news, and you just see a stock go from 80 to 35, and you'll be like, this is bottomed, like, let's buy it. Just because it always seems like those will at least get somewhat of a bounce in the after hours. And, I always like when you text me those, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, these, I always like buying things that are beaten down. So it's right in my alley. Do you have any other kind of strategies like minor ones like that, where if you see it, it's just like, okay, yeah, this is good?
So for me, it's more about, because I'm so not technically focused, like the fellas, the only technicals that I look at are really like RSI, support and resistance, and VWAP. So for me, it's like I have a scanner that specifically says, okay, when the RSI on the daily chart gets down below 35, the entire, I have like 4 screens over here, all of them just like put the stock up on there. And that's because, at that point, something had to have happened for it to be all the way down there. So that's why I like those beaten down ones. And then the other one that I really like is a sector rotation. So when you see, I'm going to go back to what's the BLM stock? UOX.
We get in trouble if we say that. Remember? I'm just playing.
It's a diversity stock. It's a diversity stock.
Yeah. Sorry. But so that one, the other thing that I've been working on is the first pop inside a sector usually goes unnoticed unless you're sitting there on the scanners all day, every day. Because what ends up happening is you'll see, a massive volume day, which locks up the flow, and everyone's just like, oh shit, like a 20% day. But then that's the real pop before you get that huge sector rip. So that's what I've been working on, is trying to identify like these smaller float stocks that, you guys know that like the UONE, like that thing went up 20% and it had a 9 million volume day. And then 3 weeks later, which was still a month out from Juneteenth, it went up 130% on like a third of the amount of volume. So I've been working on trying to catch those because I think that those are ones that are like, your risk to reward is like so good.
Yeah, my bad news beating down the after hours strategy question was actually for Tommy because he's the one that always texts.
That's what I thought. That's what. What do you got?
Neither of them wanted to answer, so he just had to give it to you.
Well, no, he started talking. No, yeah, for me with those, like mine is just much simpler than Mitch's answer. If something's down 50 or 60%, I'm just like, this is pretty much done going down. I'm just going to buy it here. We're going to get at least a 10% pop out of it, especially if they have something in the pipeline. Like if it's one of these like bios and it's like, all right, they have another drug coming up, another phase 3 coming up, whatever. Like, in my opinion, if they have something else in the pipeline, if it's not them going like, the company is over. If it's down 60%, you're more than likely going to get buyers down there and it's going to pop. So
you guys are so hunch feeling trading. I can't. I need to be systematic.
That's just how we look at it.
I think it's cool.
We just don't overcomplicate anything. Trading to me, I keep it so simple. It's literally, is this too low? Do I think it will go back up? That's like my pretty much it.
Yeah. And Gary, you actually changed your whole like portfolio sizing strategy recently, didn't you? Because recently you just kept a certain amount in there all the time and you traded with that certain amount starting at each week or each month?
Yeah. So like, I think the last time I was on here, I kept it at like 2 million or something like that. And now I just, I kind of just stopped doing as many withdrawals at the end of each week. So I stayed closer to like 10 million in the account now. Like I have no like plans to just like stay there permanently, but like for now, that's where I'm at. Like, I'll probably go a little bit higher, but, I'm just letting more money sit in the account now as opposed to, always drawing it out at the end of each week. And that's just,
whenever you like, no, I mean, like, that's my issue too, like when I make $1 million inside a week, and I'm like, oh man, like now I have another $1 million in my savings account that I don't know what to do with, that happens to me like all the time.
So it sucks. It's such a shitty problem, dude. I hate it.
Yeah, it's really a problem.
Yeah, it sounds awful. Do you think whenever you were first kind of limiting yourself, whether it started at 200K, then you went up to 2 mil, now keep going, was it kind of to manage your risk and kind of force you to keep a certain risk management, or is it just what you saw work better?
So it was kind of to get used to each type of number. So, as you keep growing your account, like, for the viewers with smaller accounts, you might see fluctuations of, like $200 or $500 in your account, like if the stock's going up and down. Then to take a big jump, like let's say that you have a 30,000 account, you might see like a couple $1,000s. Then as you keep incrementally going, those numbers get bigger. So I wanted to like give myself adequate time at each different number level to get used to the numbers so I can stay emotionless as I keep climbing up. So that was kind of the reason behind it. But, now I stay pretty numb to everything. So I just keep letting it grow.
I think it's so cool because, very few people really can, because you really started that $500 account like 2 years ago this month.
Yeah,
right?
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah. So, we know traders, that have done 500 to like 10 million in like 15 years, but to do it in 2 years, that's incredible. And also like, that's, you're like that testament to you're a testament to like, hey, you can find a strategy that works with $500 and it'll still work at 10 million.
Like if you, all the people listening, if you're under PDT, like, you know, whatever you have in your account, if you can grow your account out of PDT, then you can make anything that you want. Like if you can grow out of PDT, then the world's yours. You have the world by the balls. Like, I don't know if you guys can say that on your new deal or not, but
oh, absolutely. Fuck shit.
We can say
You don't got to celebrate it.
Yeah.
So you can do whatever you want. And like, I've seen like over the past few weeks, there's been like a whole like Twitter debate or something, whether percent gains versus dollar amount. And, you know, what people don't understand is like when your account is large enough, you can't like make, you know, 30% of your account in one day because you're not able to go all in, or like a huge percentage of your account. You might make, you know, a freak ton of money, but it's not going to be a large percent. So like even when I had a smaller account, I focused on the dollar amount over like whatever percent gain. Like at the end of the day, like
that's why like what people don't understand is that's why these like hedge funds and stuff are like you know, a financial advisor, they're so risk averse, and like they're like, oh, I'll get you like 5 to 6%, because once you have the amount of money that we're playing with, like it's very easy. I'm not saying it's easy and I'm not shitting on anybody, but it's easy to 100% your account when your account is a $50 account. You just put it in Wish or whatever, you know, like whatever, Clove, whatever you think, you put that whole thing in there and you make 100%. You can't do that with a $2-3 million account. It's just not possible. So you stop caring about the percentage. And, you know, because, you know, with us, dude, if we do 10% a year on our size accounts, like that's more than most people make, you know, in a year, in 2 years. So like, we're not shooting for that. We're just shooting for making money. And 20 grand is 20 grand. I don't care if you have $1 billion. I don't care if you have 100 grand. Like you make 20 grand in a day. That's stupid. I don't care how much.
I always said if I was a
account
billionaire and someone offered me $500, I'd still accept the $500.
Yeah, why not? Like it's just it's money.
I also think that there's 2 points here. The first thing is that, you know, like I remember when I used to have a small account, I mean, I would just market selling to that bitch when I was done with it. Like I would just you know, it wouldn't even move the thing, you know, like
right.
You sell $1,000, it doesn't even move it. Now, you know, I mean, if you have 2 million inside, like let's even call it like a $5 billion company, you know, like that's a pretty big company. But if you have like 2-3 million, you know, you're going to catch some slippage pretty quick, especially if, you know, if enough volume catches either way. So there's that component of it. And then the other component of it is what you guys were talking about, which is just like, listen, like no matter if you came from $1 billion or if you came from, you know, $500 or hell, you had 20,000 in student loans, like it's so crazy to still sit there and like even for me, like when I have like a big day and I'm expecting that move, it's still like, oh shit, like that's so sick. You know what I mean? Like it's still like, I was like, yeah, like I expected this to happen, but it's still like, holy shit, like 3 years ago, this would have been my account. What I just made inside the 6 hours. Well, I mean, you know, I'm a swing trader, but 6 hours, you know what I mean? 6 hours is sitting here, which is just, you know, like I don't think that ever mindset changes. You know what I mean?
right.
I don't think it changes for anybody. Like if you have a normal job, if you work at Kinko's and your boss calls you in and gives you a raise because you've been doing great, like that's the same thing that for us a big day is. You know what I mean? It's like it's us working at something and then seeing like the fruits of that labor. And I think that's anything. If you're an athlete, if you have a regular job, like when you're told or you see like all that hard work means something, like you're gonna feel good about it. That's just
when you have a regular job, like whatever it might be, you know, like whatever balance is in your bank account, when you come home, like whatever you made at work that day, you're not like, oh, I made 10% of my account today. No, you're just like, I made ever how many dollars like today. That's what it is.
Yeah, and as long as your credit score is good, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, one big mindset thing for me that kind of hit me whenever I was trading while working was whenever I hit the amount that I knew I made every day at work. And I was like, damn, I just made, I can quit my job now. I just made my $82. It was actually $60. I just don't want to make everyone think I'm a fucking idiot that can't get a good job. It's just where I live. Okay.
Dude, when I met Gary, Gary called me on one of the first times that Gary and I were talked on the phone. You were driving home from the bar that you worked at. that you worked at, and you were like, oh yeah, like I made 15 grand today, but I mean, just in case. And I was like, Gary, what? Mind you used to drive like what, an hour there and an hour back?
Yeah, it was like 50 minutes. We'll call it an hour.
Yeah, and I think you made like 1,500 or something. And I was like, Gary, why the hell are you like? What'd you make? And I think don't quote me on this, but I think he made like $200 or $300 that night, like working at the bar. I was like, Gary, what? Like, why are you working? And I think that it goes back to that, like that mindset of waiting until you know that you can go full time. I think that like everybody gets caught up in hey, if I can just make 3% on my account, I mean, I'll be at 100,000 by the end of the year. But the one thing that like I try and drive home is that like, hey, like even if you go on a good stretch, you can't just go full time.
No, yeah, like. For me, with like the job, like I wanted to work until I knew that I would like, once I quit, then I would never have to have another job again. Like, cause the last thing I wanted was, something go wrong. And then I just, come back like, hey guys, like it's me again. Can I have my job back? So, and that comes from, just having confidence in a strategy that works for you and your personality. Like, me and Tommy trade very similar, but we don't trade exactly the same. Like I don't trade the same as Hugh or Dan. Like every trader is going to trade a little bit differently. You can't trade exactly like some other trader because it's not just going to work out perfectly for you.
Yeah, somebody puts on earnings reports and get bitched at for it.
Jesus Christ, this again. Yeah, and I also think if you're going to go full time, like you need to have an account size. Obviously it depends how much your rent is, this, that, but you need to have an account size that you can not be emotional for, a year. Like you have a year to really try it out. And if you take a big hit, you're not like homeless. You're not like, don't think like, oh, I've won for 2 months, I can go full time. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Make sure you have enough in the account and in the bank to where if you do take a big hit, your bills are still paid. Everything's okay. You can not, because as soon as you're emotional and you need the money, you're screwed because every move is going to be scary. There's a reason that when you have a job and you're trading, you're like, it's not a big deal because I'm making money at my job and funding my account. That goes away when you quit your job. So you need to not be emotional because as soon as you're emotional about every tick up or down, you're ruining what's been working for you that whole time.
Yeah. Do you guys, so obviously you guys are cash. So it's a little different for me because most of the time my super green days aren't realized. But most of the time
you never sell anything, dude. That's their whole thing. You don't sell stocks.
Dude, I'm an investor.
Jesus. Well, I held TRCH for like 6 years. Paid off, but geez.
What do you call it? So do you guys do anything when you just have like a massive realized day? And I understand that like, your massive realized days have significantly increased inside the past 16 months. Is there anything that you guys do to like really celebrate and kind of be like, hey, this is crazy?
Yeah, Tommy bought a fucking $150,000 car and a $3 million house.
Okay.
And Gary
First off, it's a $2.2 million house and it's a $189,000 car. Let's just keep it in perspective.
Well, I think this interview's actually gotten completely like unrelatable for the average trader, and I kind of did want to stray away from the millions and shit and kind of talk it back down to a more relatable thing.
You're the host, man. I'm just
following your lead. You guys got into millionaire talk real quick, and what the fuck was I going to do?
Honestly, what I do when I have a really big day, if it's like a day where, because me and Gary talk a lot throughout the day on stuff, like we buy each other stuff. Like we literally, I'll be like, all right, it was a sick day. Like, you like these shoes from Represent? They're going to you. Like, it's not like we're out here buying each other whips every day or anything. I mean, we did buy each other Rolexes one time, but it's not like, it's more like, yo, here's this like dope ass shirt from Represent. It was like $100. Like, it was a good day.
Expensive? Okay.
All right, it's like $100 shirt, but it's like, it's not a $600 shirt like Dan bought, but it's, it's that kind of stuff. Like it's more like we congratulate each other on like good stuff, or that day, like I'll donate to St. Jude's or stuff like that. Like if I make $100 grand in a day, like I'm giving at least $1,000 to $5,000 to a charity because it's just stupid that we make that kind of money, and it's like we need to do stuff like that.
For me, like I go out and eat every single day. which, I haven't been able to go out and eat in a couple of weeks because, I had a surgery, so I'm trapped in the house. But
here we go.
I know.
The sob story. Did you also live in your car at one point?
No, I've never lived in my car. That's just you. But I like to go out and eat, and I always like to leave big tips because it's like, those are the next people that's trying to come up and whatever they're trying to do, and it's a good feeling to be able to tip really well and make someone's day, and it doesn't really affect you because you should be trying to help other people come up to that next level, whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I think that's so cool. Yeah, that's really what I meant. Like in college, I used to do sushi, when I hit a big day. And I just think those little things are so important to keeping you because one of the things that I ran into was that I sat there and it was actually early this year, and I was there was one point to where I was I don't even know how much money this is. I just didn't know, you know what I mean? And I did something really stupid, and it just hit my credit card, and I was paid off, and I was whoa, wow, that's cool. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things that makes you want to, that almost made me want to work harder, even though it was $10 sushi, it was nice, now I can't wait to do this again, And I think that Gary, you giving the big tip, Tommy, you give, you donating to St. Jude's, I think that's so important to do those little things. There's another guy, defense trader, he does ice cream, and I think those little rewards are so important.
Yeah, and you don't want to make it too big, right? You don't want to have a 100K day and be I'm going to spend the 100K.
Yeah, exactly.
Relative to your account, whatever. If you have $1,000 account, $100 day is going to be insane. So you want to just keep it minimal and keep it the same because you're going to have those red days, and you don't want to be celebrating so hard on your green days. And then your red days are just keep it simple.
Yeah, I like to
keep
celebrate
it small.
on my red days. I eat good on my red days, and then it's the other days I'm chilling.
Yeah, you just keep it small and you keep it simple because the number one thing that's going to help you in this game is for the red days not to affect you and the green days not to affect you. If you can just become a robot and every day is the same, that's when you really start winning. When it's not life or death, when you're not it's green, oh my God. It's if every day is the same and it's just you're showing up to work and doing your thing, that's when you really start seeing your account go crazy, is when you just have no emotion.
Did you guys do anything to get into that mindset? Because one of the questions that I'm always asked is how do you just not care about seeing red? And I mean, for me personally, it was more when I was growing my account, I really didn't have crazy expenses. So it's different. It's different for me. I feel but is there I know that Killer T from 7 Point, he started meditating and that helped him, and he started listening to mindset audiobooks. Is there anything that you guys did to get you into that mindset of not caring about a 5% red day, or is it just with experience?
Yeah, so for me, and it goes back to what we talked about earlier, I was doing withdrawals frequently from my account. So my big thing was I wanted to get my bank account, separate from my stock account, my bank account big enough that, I never looked at it anymore. When I buy something, I haven't looked at my bank account and I don't remember how long. So now that I know that I don't need money, then I've kind of lost my attachment to it. So that's why, if I take a loss, whatever, it's fine. So in the beginning, when you're doing those scalps or compounding your gains, just keep compounding up enough to where you can do withdrawals in your bank account to where, you're completely fine in your bank account. And do this slowly. You don't have to have millions of dollars. I didn't at the beginning either. The first time that my bank account hit $25,000, over compounding my gains, I thought that was the craziest thing. And then I was feeling pretty good. And you just keep compounding your bank account with your stock account. That way you're not really stressed about bills or buying anything, or if you lose in the stock account one day, it's not going to affect you.
Yeah. Yeah. My big thing was I blew up. I mean, obviously I had another job when I started trading, but still I wasn't touring when I started trading and stuff. So money was tight. But for me, it was really when I lost, I blew up my first account, and all I just kept telling myself is all right, everybody that's a successful trader has gone through this. Everybody's blown up their account. Everybody's paid market tuition, but And I think PJ says this a lot too. It's like, I just saw like Gary, you, Hugh, Dan, PJ, Zach, everybody. I was like, all right, these guys did it. There's no way I'm not going to do it. This is the path everybody's gone with. So this is just part of the process. I calmed down. I lost like 30 grand in my first account. And I was like, this sucks, but this is part of the game. I will make, it's a long-term thing. I'm not looking to get rich overnight. I'm looking to like, okay, this sucked. We're going to slowly get back there. And that's just what I look at with everything. You know, if I have a 5% red day, I'm like, this is part of the game. This is how you slowly, you know, get to 100 million, which is like, you know, my end goal. This is how you get there. There's no way to get there without having those days. So if you have a small account and you blow it up, it sucks, but you have to keep in mind that every single successful trader has done that and walked that path. So you're on the right path. If you've blown up your account, that's step one of becoming a successful trader. So you just got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, and a lot of people, after they blow up their first account, you get that mentality. Do you go in with a different strategy? Do you start paper trading? What is the in-between in, hey, I blew up my account, and hey, now I'm going to be a successful trader?
I think after you blow up your account, like you've gone through a lot of different strategies that clearly don't work for you. So now like there's less things that you have to try. So like it's much fewer options for you, and you're quicker to lock in smaller gains, or you cut your losses quicker, because now like for a lot of people, after they blow up one account, like their second account like might be do or die for them. So now you treat it much more carefully. So I think, you know, blowing up a first account can be very beneficial for your career through the long term, because you come back with a whole new mindset. Like you protect that capital always.
I think it's so important that people, I mean, I don't want to say this, but like, I think it's important to lose money and try different strategies, so that like when we get into a slow market like now, you know, and everybody wants to go short and everyone wants to go options trading. And it's like, but like if you already lost money with a smaller account shorting, you know, or let's just say options trading, you know, like, oh, you lost $50 of a $500 account options, and you're like, nope, not touching that. You know, then like when you have your $30,000 account and you're not making money like August, you know, you're not going to go back to it. You know, I think one of the biggest issues with the last 16 months is that so many people have seen so much success that you know, we hit a slow month like August, and it's like my DMs are like, hey Hugh, like I want to start shorting, like I want to start doing options trading, like I took my account from 500 to 30 grand. I'm like, no, like
just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, just you know, not making money is way better than losing money. Like,
yeah, I think that's something that a lot of people do, and I did it.
Just relax.
I did it. Like I found something that was working, and then my account got to a certain size, and I was like, oh, this was working. So now maybe I'll just try options with the same size, or maybe I'm going to size up like crazy because it's been working for 3-4 months. Why wouldn't I just add a zero to my buy and make more money? The second you do that is when things turn around for you. When you start veering away from the strategy, trying to like get richer faster, or oh, this guy's doing options, and had I just done that trade with options, that would have been a 10,000% gain, not a 10% gain. It's just like, yes, that is true in theory, but when you start doing that and switching it up, your risk becomes higher. You start getting sweaty palms on every move. You become emotional. It's like, dude, if you grew your account from 3,000 to 30,000, just keep doing that. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. It's working.
I mean, I really don't think that I can stress enough, you know, like, hey, listen, you know, like just because we hit a slow month doesn't mean that's the end of the world. Like you don't need to, the beautiful thing about this job is that you don't need to make money every single month, you know, like you can, I mean, there's so many traders who hit their year-end goal by January or, you know, end of February when it was super hot, you know? And so I always want to like stress and be like, hey, listen, like you're playing with like house money right now. Like, you know, sit back, enjoy the rest of the year. And when you see a layup, size him, you know, hit that layup and just wait for the right opportunity, you know, like, but if nothing comes for 2 weeks, that's totally okay because you're way ahead of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, because so many people lose a lot of their gains during the slow months, but this, you know, interview should be coming out around the beginning of September. We're still kind of, you know, the last week of August right here, but as the market starts to heat up, like let's say it starts to get a little bit better in September, you said the only way you really changed your strategy in the slow market was kind of stepping away after a while. How else does your strategy change as the market will continue to heat up, if it continues to heat up to end the year, aside from just staying at the computer all day?
Yeah, that's really the only thing. I'll just stay here longer. I have my daily goal, like when the volume is there, but like in August, the volume leaves very early. So, I understand I'm not going to hit my regular daily goal. When that volume comes back, probably mid to late September, I'm just going to stay here longer, make more money, like hit that goal. I can just keep doing the strategy I'm doing right now, just more of it.
We need a Kodak, like one of those like 1,000%, 2,000%ers to just ignite everything.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it'll just be I'll size up more and I'll stay here longer. Like right now, I'm not sizing as hard as I would usually size in small caps. And yeah, I think there'll be more things to play. Like, if you look back 2 months ago, we were calling 4 or 5 tickers a day. Now we're calling 1 ticker a day at most, if even calling 1 ticker a day. It's like there just aren't as many opportunities. It gives you less of a cushion. The problem is with August is if you lose money in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the market, there aren't those opportunities to make it back. So you end up just digging yourself in a hole. 2 months ago, you lose 10K in the first 10 minutes. There's 18 other things that you can make it back on. There just isn't that in August.
Yeah, I personally, between the slow market and like all the traveling, like Egypt, Reno, like I'm forced to step away and I'm stoked about it now. Like in the beginning, I was like, damn, like I'm gonna be really pissed if like, because we all know that when we're on vacation, we're like, and we see like, what's going on and we're like, damn, like, that would have been a nice little win.
You only really see the good ones. You never see the bad ones on Twitter, so you always feel like you're missing out every time you're gone.
You always feel like you're missing out, but like now, like, because I've honestly been feeling a little bit of burnout over the last like from really like the last like 2 years, let's call it. And so I mean, I'm stoked to like be forced to step away. The end of August, leading into September.
Do you guys think and especially someone like Gary who's been trading a while, do you think there's something that will really ignite the market that what do you think really sets it up for like, okay, the rest of this month or the rest of the year is going to be hot?
So there's always that one like signal stock that comes, after we go through a brief slow period. Like we've always seen like one stock come out of nowhere, like that runs like maybe 1,000% or something like that. It doesn't just run one day and then just fade back off. It runs multiple days, maybe even 3 or 4, and does like a crazy like 1,000, 2,000% move. I don't know what stock it will be personally. I don't try to predict like any stock that comes. I just trade it when it comes. But once we see that, I think that's our signal that the volume is back, and I want to start sizing in heavy again. Just wait for whatever stock that might be.
Yeah. How are you guys approaching sympathies now? Because I know that you guys mainly play like the breakouts and short setups, but do you guys ever say, hey, this one's really lagging behind?
I'm not a big sympathy player, so I rarely do sympathy trades like at any market.
Oh yeah, I'll only do them when when it is one of those like parabolic absolute, like when what was it, Orf was running, or it was Alf, I can't remember which was the leader, but all of the low float IPOs were going. So like when you see a sector get that hot, it's worth it. But when you just, if Kern pops 5% and everybody's like, dude, you got to get ACB, weed is going crazy. It's like, it's not going crazy. It's got to be going nuts. It's got to be going nuts, and it's got to show you signs, because otherwise you're just going to get smoked because it's low volume. It'll pop a little bit and fade on you. You won't be able to get out. So if you want to play sympathies, the sector has to be on fire, and it's really got to be going. Like Tesla has to be going absolutely ridiculous for Tesla for you to go grab FSR or CCIV or any of these things. And I do like sympathy trading a lot, but you got to be smart about it because it will blow your account up if you just start slapping every sympathy on a 5% move. It won't work.
For any major runner, there's 10 sympathies. Like, which one is it going to be? But there's 2 school of thoughts with sympathy trades, right? So you have the main runner that's going in the sector, and you're like, oh, well, that's so far extended, I'll have a better risk reward ratio. I'll just grab one of the sympathies cheap that hasn't gone yet. That's a legitimate school of thought. You can do well on that. The other school of thought, which is more the side that I'm on, like, if this sympathy is going to go, it's dependent on the main runner to keep going. So if this sympathy is going to go, the main runner has to keep going anyway. So I'll just play the main runner.
Exactly. Yeah. It's it's got to keep going. That's the other thing. Yeah, you have to have it on your screen. It's a tricky game, but yeah,
it's got to be muscle memory. Like you have to be first to the race with the sympathies, or else you're just gonna. You're gonna get screwed unless again the main runner goes berserk. But if it's like one of those things where it's like news comes out at 10:30 or something on some stock and it 200% or something, then you got to be first to the sympathies, or else they'll be. Within a minute the sympathies are gone.
And dude, sometimes honestly, sympathies, it'll ruin the play, man. Like there's days like when NFTs start going, I will literally text Gary and be like, that's it, we're out, because there's 700 NFT plays and all the volume gets spread out everywhere. The main runner ends up crashing because everybody goes to all the sympathies instead of buying the main runner. So when there's 1,000 sympathies, dude, everybody ends up losing because everybody's buying. I hate when our floor, any chat room, anything, Twitter, anything, starts throwing out 600, DLPN, IVR, this, that, blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, dude, people are getting so confused. Everybody's just, algorithms are getting spread thin. People are getting spread thin. Yeah, and it doesn't work. Like, everybody ends up losing. The main runner ends up crashing because people are selling that to buy the sympathies. The sympathies crash because the main runner's falling. There's 500 so it really, those are the days where you see people get really frustrated. Like we get frustrated and newer traders get super frustrated because they're like, you got 1,000 tickers are being called. And on those days, I'll just get up and walk away because it all the volume dries up. It gets spread way too thin.
Yeah. And another thing you've actually started doing, Tommy, is you've been, dabbling in options a little more, and you're a newer trader, and it seems like you mastered day trading, and now you're adding options to it. How has your option strategy, grown? What have you kind of learned from all that, and how'd you start?
So options for me, like I play them the same way I play stocks. I scalp them super fast. The moves are just more volatile, and you can get more of a percentage on them. So I will. I'll find a stock that I think is breaking out. I don't buy dips on options because if it keeps dipping, you're totally screwed. So I'll find a setup that looks like it's, on an upward trend with a breakout, and I'll just play the breakout to a new high a day or a little bit past a new high of day, and it'll give you like a 60, 100% return. I play them super small. I don't play options big, and I have a big account. People play options way too big on Twitter. I'll buy them with like $2,000 because dude, if you're risking $2,000 to make $2,000, that's a great risk reward if you think the stock is going to keep going up. So, I keep it small. I'm not the best options trader, but I play breakouts with options personally, and I scalp them. I never hold them overnight. I never go like earnings are coming.
Losses on them quick too, if
fast, real quick, yeah, like really fast.
Losses on options can be like 30% and still be.
And that's why I play them small. Yeah. And that's why I play them really small. I think everybody's kryptonite in this game is trying to get rich quick. Like if you think trading stocks is a get rich quick scheme, you are going to lose. I promise you, it's not a get rich quick scheme. I am super fortunate that in 2 years I've made what I made, but like Hugh, Gary, you guys have been trading for 5-6 years and you're just now at like the top tier percentage of, trading. So it's 2 years of work for a lifetime skill that you can do forever.
I'm a fast learner, so.
Yeah, but I got lucky, right? I came into a hot market. I had you guys like helping me. Like I got lucky, but
you did have us. That is
but it's the kind of thing. Trading is the kind of thing where you gotta love it, and you gotta wake up every morning and be like, "This is what I do. I love this. I want to do this forever." It's not I have so many friends hit me up like, "What do I buy, dude? I gotta pay rent next month." I'm like, I can't help you. That's not a thing. Like I'm not. This isn't like let me log in. How do I make $3,000 real fast? You'll lose every time.
If that was the case, we would be at like 3 billion.
Exactly.
Like if that was the case. No, I definitely that perspective is for sure real. And the other thing though is that and it comes back to what we were talking about earlier. Once your account size is certain, like the learning curve, the biggest thing is that the learning curve is literally a brick wall. It's a brick wall. But once you're over that, and you can make, $500 a day. Like if you can make $1,000 a day, that's $250,000 a year.
Nobody gets that. Nobody understands
gets
it.
Like you don't need to make $5 million. Like you can make $1,000 a day and be done.
Exactly.
Like that's the thing is that like, yes, it takes a while to take a $5,000 account to a $30,000 account. Like, yes, that takes a long time. I mean, I'm on year 8.5. And like Tommy said, I literally became profitable like 4 years ago. Like, but once you get that $30,000 account, boom, that's like 10%, you make 10%. That's like, that's not bad. That's like minimum wage, let's call it, or something, and then once you take that $30,000 account to $150,000 account, now you make 10% of that. And I mean, you're inside like the top 10% for like salaries, if you can do that every month, and then if you can take that $150,000 account to 300, now it's like, it's game over.
You can compounding is good. We know.
All right.
He's like doing, and then if you get that 3 million account to 6 million, it's like 7 p.m. And then 190 million.
But I think the thing that nobody believes and people, I see it, like I'll see Gary call something, let's say, and I'll see him write like, I laid this out for you. It hit the exact target I said it was going to hit. From here on out, it's your trade. Like it did exactly what I said it was going to do. It's on you. And I see so many kids replying like, I'm holding out, bro. That was only a 7% move. It's going this. It's like, okay, this is where you get screwed because you're not listening. Like there are stocks that are going to go 100%. There are those things, Hugh, you play a lot of them. Zach plays a lot of them, but taking 6% return is amazing. It would take you a lifetime or more if you put that money in a savings account and it sat there to make 6%. You would literally never make it. So the fact that you just made it in 5 minutes, like take it and move on to the next one. It's okay to make 6%, 5%, 10%. Like that is a win. And people need to understand that they're always holding out for more. And I think it's because a lot of people started trading during COVID where anything you touched ran 100%. Like, that's not a thing anymore. Like, move on. It's okay to take 10%, 20%, and just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also like, well, it's also like, everybody starts with like, after you scale up to like that let's call it like a $5,000 account, 10% on 2,000, it's only $200. Like, yes, but it's 10% of you. Like, it's 10% of the position. It's
and dude, $200 is sick. Imagine somebody being like, hey, you could just sit at your computer for 2 minutes and I'll give you $200. You'd be like, hell yeah. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Like if Gary calls a stock and you make $200 about it, that's literally Gary just gave you $200. Like move on to the next thing. You did nothing. You didn't do anything. He just handed you $200.
No, that does not work at all because then if they lose, then it's Gary lost them $300.
You know what I mean, though.
We can't say you did nothing, and then when they lose,
all right, you bought and sold. You bought and sold. You didn't do manual labor. You sat at your computer and made $200. Like take the blessing and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Well, okay. We have 2 more segments. Both very quick. So you guys are like bestie boys. You guys hold
yeah, what's
hands
up? You don't have a best friend, dude?
No, dude. I'm
Dan's
a lone
best
star. Oh shit.
Dude, look at my wall. It says Goblin on my wall behind me in chalk.
What the fuck
That's
do
a
you
chalk
mean
wall
I'm
right
not your
there,
best
bro.
friend?
Okay. All right. So, but we do
the
have,
chalk wall came in here.
Yeah, I do. It's the battle of the besties right here, but we don't have these questions don't apply to us. I guess some of them do.
Dude,
so
I could
basically,
answer all of them.
On the count of 3, you guys are going to answer the question about each other. Okay.
That's not going to work because there's a lag. Why don't we each just answer separately?
Okay. Well, and then you'll see if it works. Okay.
Gary, you tell me. Tommy, you tell Dan.
Okay. So this one's for both of you. Who's each of your, and we'll go over how many we had right at the end. Favorite fighter of the other one.
Oh, Conor McGregor for.
That one's easy. Yeah.
Okay. For Gary.
Israel Adesanya for Tommy.
Okay. They look like they were both right.
Wow. You thought we didn't know each other?
What's each other's birthday?
Shit. His birthday was 3 days ago. I can't remember the date though.
Yeah, I don't know his birthday.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I know his birthday was a few days ago.
So I'm gonna just take a shot. Is it August 19th and January 4th?
January 10th for me.
August 17th for me.
Dan,
Okay,
when's my birthday?
That is in
my
October.
Damn, and you've signed legal documents with his birthday
Dude,
on it. This
we
is
are
insane.
literally married to each other inside the eyes of the law. And you
Wow.
know my birthday. Dude, that's
Okay,
terrible.
okay, but like I'm in the right season.
May. VVOS, pop.
May. Okay.
Look, there's Gary selling VVOS right now.
I've got a few more. Who wins in a fight?
Gary, he was a professional fighter. What do you mean?
Hey, you know,
Gary's
he's also
like
7 feet
3
tall.
yeah.
What are you talking about?
okay, favorite color?
What, is that even a question?
green.
Yeah, green.
Okay.
Yeah, Goblin Green,
Okay.
baby.
Who came up with Goblin Gang?
Ooh. We both did it at the same time
This
because
exact same time you guys think Goblin Gang. Goblin Gang.
No. So here's the thing: is Gary called someone a goblin, and then I found the truck. So it was like a synergy that happened. But he called somebody a goblin in a negative term, and then I found the truck, and it 180'd and became like a super
I
positive thing.
can't.
Okay, and the last one is who's third in charge of Goblin Gang?
Oh man, we
Yeah,
haven't appointed anybody.
You guys could really
I
fuck up some
drive the
friendships
fucking
here.
truck in the gift.
No, I don't think we have a third. It's just me and Gary. You guys are all part of it, but I don't think we got a third.
I
guy.
literally drive the truck in the gift.
Yeah, you work for us. You're an employee.
I work for you?
What'd you
Yeah,
say, Gary?
you're an employee of Goblin Gang.
Dude, I am nobody's employee.
We could appoint PGIR to be third in command, like as a whole.
Yeah,
we'll take
together.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
me and Hugh always have the same answer on most opinions. Like we're always agreeing.
Yeah, you guys have never agreed on anything.
We agreed on a podcast.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Yeah, if we
hilarious.
agreed on everything, it's like if Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp agreed on everything, there wouldn't be Undisputed,
Yeah,
So,
I mean they're super hot chicks though.
yeah, no, I mean Skip Bayless is a babe. So
Yeah.
I think we should end it out. Because we'll be out doing shit when this is released. Tommy, would you give us a speech for September, please, as we just made it through all of August?
Yes. Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen. You have survived August. If you didn't, turn this off. But if you did, listen up. September's here, baby, and we're going to wait about a week to feel it out, but I promise you by the second week, we are going to be swimming in the gains, ladies and gentlemen. Get those accounts ready. Tell your parents you're about to be rich and get those tax forms signed because you're about to fucking bang. Let's go.
Woo! Okay, and this one's for Hugh. When's my birthday, man?
September 14th.
Oh shit. All right. Well,
We signed legal documents. Like I have your SS number somewhere.
damn. I hope
We're
you don't need it
married
for a
in the
big
eyes of the
loan,
law.
'cause, yeah. Because
Don't steal Dan's identity. You'll owe the bank money.
you'll get arrested. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us in the middle of this beautiful August day. I hope you guys have a great rest of August, and we will see. I'll see Tommy September 2nd, and I'll see all of you guys September 8th.
See you guys.
See you home.
Later, dudes.
Goblin Gang. Bye, boys.
Goblin Gang.